welcome you to the 106th Itasca County Fair here in Grand Rapids. This is Brian Carlson, your host. I've got Tom Beauchamp with me and Bryce Holcomb, and that's the camera crew that we've got here today, and we're going to just take you around and show you the different highlights of the fair here today. One of the folks that I've got with me here is Linda Lou Popejoy. She's from the Grand Rapids area. She's with multiple sclerosis. And Linda Lou, what's the purpose of you being here today?
Well, we've given several grants to the Itasca County Fair over the years, and I'm here today because we're going to be receiving a plaque of their appreciation.
Now, what are these grants for?
For accessibility. We've made some paved pathways, and it's majorly for accessibility.
Do you have any idea as to how many dollars worth you've put out here?
Actually, I don't. I was hoping you might have a dollar figure on that.
Well, no, I don't have that either. Linda Lou is the area gambling manager, I guess is the appropriate title. Is that right?
That's correct.
And what she does is she makes sure that everything is taken care of as far as the gambling portion of it. And the requests for funds are funneled through you to where?
To our office in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Multiple Sclerosis Society.
Now, are you restricted to accessibility projects only?
All of our projects are related to our mission, which is to end the devastating effects of multiple sclerosis and to enhance people's lives and also accessibility issues.
Do you have any idea as to how many folks are affected by MS in this area, whether it's Itasca County or the Northeast Minnesota?
I'd hate to venture on a number. I'm really not sure. I wouldn't want anybody to think I was, giving incorrect information.
Okay. I'm real familiar with probably at least a dozen folks myself in the Grand Rapids area, and I know of several up in the Hibbing area as well that are affected, and they're real supportive of your program.
Yes, that's great.
So what do you do besides working with MS?
Well, I do a little singing every once in a while in a country band, Tim Patterson and Linda Lou. We used to have a TV show back in 1976. I don't know if anyone can remember that. But...
Well, do you guys have an old tape of that, I understand?
Actually, we tried to get tapes of that TV show, but they didn't save them at that time. I guess they just recycled them or something. I don't know. But they weren't available.
So there's no possibility we could get one to play back on TV at all?
No, although Tim's mother did use a cassette player, she has the audio but no video.
Well, maybe what we'll do, Tom's pretty good at dubbing music back over and reusing it for some of our scroll type stuff, so why don't we get some of that Tim Patterson show music and Linda Lou, and we'll do that. So, not swatting you in the face there, there's a nice little hornet came by you there. That's because you're so sweet. Okay, well, we're going to take you back to the music here. It's Matt Vorterbroken and his wife Eleanor, and a little bit of this polka music. Thank you.
find that these people are the heart and soul of our communities and of our county. I have a couple things, first of all, that I need to do, though, that are logistics things. First of all, I want you to put your hands together, and I want you to do as loud a clapping as you can for the Itasca County Fair and the Itasca County Fair Board, because they're the ones who support Senior Day at the fair, and there's the one that give me that push that I need to do to get going every year. The other time, and now I want you to do it again one more time. Maybe they can hear you over at the Moose Club. I want you to thank the Moose Club for supporting Senior Day at the fair with beans and sloppy joes, and I love it. They make it hand-make it, and I think that's wonderful. We're very, very lucky. They've made a clear statement, and I hope you hear it. The clear statement is, senior citizens of Itasca County, you are special. You are important. You mean everything to the people of these communities. And so for them to say that to you in a very special way, is something that I'm real proud of. Okay, it's that time. I promised I wouldn't take too long. First of all, we're going to introduce to you today Faye and Gail Pellercells, and they will tell you about our nomination for Outstanding Senior Male for this year, and tell you a little bit about him and present the award. Faye, they're so excited about doing this. Like they said, come on, Lynn, do we have to? You have to get up here. If I have to stand up here, you have to stand up here. Oh, no. You got to talk right into this, they tell me. I don't know. Stan Hynek, talk right into it. Stan Hynek, we congratulate you for being such a great man. She said she was going to cry. Get over here. Come on, you got to say something more than that. words to you, and maybe our sheriff would like to say a couple words to you, and you know what? It's special to know that they're here and they care about us.
He told me to get up here because the short people can't be seen that far away. I'm here as the mayor of Grand Rapids to tell you that even though today is Senior Day, every day should be Senior Day in America, and especially in Itasca County. Today we enjoy a beautiful community, a beautiful standard of living, and we do it because of all the work that you have done throughout the years to give us this. Thank you very much. The community loves you, and I hope that the next generation learns to respect you for what you have done, for what you have worked for, and will continue to preserve what we have here. Thank you very much. It is an honor to be here with you, and it's an honor to have you here in Grand Rapids. Thank you.
Mary?
Okay, where's Pat?
Pat Maduri, report to the stand.
Report. Pat, are you on the phone?
He's working.
He's busy.
He's busy working.
How about Lawrence?
Lawrence Solbring, our state representative, coming up.
Hey, that's pretty good, huh?
Bobby Fragnito from Nashville.
Is Bobby here? Yes?
Well, that's an honor to have my competitor introduce me. First of all, greetings. Thank you very much for attending. It's a great day. Every day in Minnesota is a great day. We appreciate very much the opportunity that each of you have to be able to come out and enjoy this kind of a day. Closer?
Bob? Bob?
I've never been taught that my voice isn't loud enough. But again, just greetings from the state of Minnesota and from District 3B. Appreciate very much that each of you took the time today to come out and enjoy the fair. Enjoy the crowd and have a great visit. And also enjoy the band. This is good music, isn't it? Thank you very much.
Oh, gosh. I look around. There's so many important people here. How many of you know Bob Fragnito? You know him?
Bob Wolf?
I just want to take a minute and say hello. It's a beautiful day. Welcome to be here and congratulations to the winners. Hope you enjoy the day and hope you enjoy the fair. Thanks.
Pat, get over here. Front.
Never want to leave a politician with a mic in his home.
Quick, get that mic away from him. Okay, one more. Pat, got a minute? Of course he's got a minute. He's always got a minute for seniors.
Thank you, Paul. Just want to welcome everybody here today. I think it's really great. Last 4 years that I've been coming up with help, I think this is probably the largest crowd that I've remember up here in the last 4 years.
Did they go?
It's really great to have everybody here. Enjoy yourself. Congratulations to June and Stan. I think it's really great. We got a lot of wonderful senior people out here, and you're the backbone that made Itasca County what it is today. So, thank you.
Okay, I just want to say Mary Ives is here today. Bobby Williams was here today. Mr. Zolke is here today. He's right over there. If you don't know these people and you've always wanted to talk to them, step up and give a chat, because I'll tell you what, they want to hear from you.
Get up here. You raised the taxes.
I really enjoyed meeting with you today as you came through the line. I saw lots of smiles, and it's wonderful to have you with us, and congratulations to the seniors. We really appreciate your being part of the fair. You make the fair very special for us. Thank you.
Okay, let's go. These are the folks I love. These folks, they're waiting for me at 8:30 in the morning to see what I need to set up Senior Day at the fair. These are the folks that really count. Huh? Yeah.
We're very happy for the nice turnout we had today. This is a program that we really enjoy sponsoring and help put on. I'm going to make an award today. It's very, very special to us here at the Fair Board and the Ag Society. I'm going to present an award to an old friend of ours who has worked 50 years with this fair, 50 years with the children of this county. We have a beautiful plaque for him, and I wish somebody would bring him up here. They got him hiding in the corner. Al Page was the extension agent. This is his 50th year at the Itasca County Fair. And I think if anybody And we loved it. Oh, and we're going to have cake and coffee for Al up in the Egg Horde building after this program. Stop by and see him. Ron? And from now on, from this day on, the Egg Horde building will be known as the Al Page Exhibit Hall.
Thank you. A couple other awards that we want to give, and these awards are for people who have done a lot to make these grounds look the way they are looking right now, and the pathways and the tar and the buildings and such, and we want to honor these people with some plaques. So at this time I'm going to call a few people, and if we can give each of them a round of applause as we go. The first group that we're going to give a plaque to is the Moose Lodge for their sponsor of the dinner here. So let's give them a round of applause. Ray Groutman, would you come forward?
No problem. Yeah. But if you didn't pay, you don't have a problem.
Thank you. The next person will be the representative from the North Central Beef Growers Association, who do a lot to help the livestock display in the barn down here, and is going to have a Farm Fest and Farm Olympics later on this afternoon. We have Joanne Frick and Robbie Radayach here. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. The next person is someone that really helps us out here, and what most of their donations go for is all of the paving, and I know a lot of the seniors here really appreciate being able to walk on level ground, and I think we need to give them an extra round of applause, and that's to the Multiple Sclerosis Society, and we have Linda Lou Hopejoy here representing them today.
You got to sing one number, Linda, before we let you go.
Thank you, Linda, for all your help.
Can you hear me, dear?
The next one is goes to the Eagles Club, and I think Jim Hoffman is here to accept that on behalf of the Eagles Club. Thank you, Jim. The next group we want to mention, and some people that help us out on the grounds here during fair time and will react if we need to during other times of the year, is our local law enforcement. First of all, I'd like to have a representative of the Grand Rapids Police Department come forward. Tim Dorholt. Thank you, Tim, and if you can convey our thanks to the department for your service. Yeah. Thank you. The next group, and we see them riding around their bikes around the fairgrounds, and they help downtown and kind of keep traffic control and crowd control, and that's the Grand Rapids Police Reserves. So I'd like to have Vince Rittmiller is representing them today. Thank you, Vince. The next group, or next person I want to have come up, and he's already been up here once, and that's the support and the help that we get from the Itasca County Sheriff's Office, and I'd like Pat Maduri to come up and accept a plaque for that office. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Rocco.
Another group that does a lot of work out here and helps us is the Grand Rapids Optimist Club. They help with a lot of painting. They painted this red children's barn this year, and they've done several of the buildings up on the hill. And we've got a plaque for them, and Pat, as an officer of the Grand Rapids Optimist, is going to accept that. Thank you, Pat. The next one is for Meds 1 Ambulance Service. If I didn't get his name, I'm sorry. Peter Pearson, representing Meds 1 for their service out here during the fair. Another group that does a lot for us out here in providing handicapped accessibility and the paving and the walkways is the Itasca County Volunteers for the Handicap. Every 2 years they have a handicap or an auction out here, and the funds come right back to the fairgrounds to support some of the things you see in the grounds improvements. So I'd like to have Brian Carlson accept that plaque for the Volunteers for the Handicap. And also, Brian is going to accept one for McLaughlin Auctioneer Service, and they're the ones that do the auctioneering for those auctions. So let's give a round of applause for those folks. The the last plaque I have to give out is for the West Range Racing Association. They're the ones that run the speedway here, and they do a lot of help for us in grounds work and stuff. Whenever we need something, we call on them, and they're right here to help us. So we have a representative from West Range Racing Association, and thank you very much. Just a couple other people that I want to, we don't have representatives here, and we don't have plaques for them right here, but L&M Supply donates a lot of supplies for the buildings. Cole Hardware donates quite a bit for painting and that type of maintenance. UPS, they have a community service group. They do a lot of the painting along with the Optimist Club. And the other person that we have, or other group that does a whole lot for us up here, is the Itasca Vintage Car Club. And most of you are aware they have a car show up here every year. And the funds that they make on their car show, an awful lot of them come right back into this grounds because that's where they want to do it and that's where they make their money. So we want to give a round of applause to the car club, please. Thank you. Lynn? Enjoy the day at the fair and have a nice day.
Oh, we're so lucky. Listen, a very special person just came. We have, the last 2 years, have had someone very special design our plaques for us and paint them especially for the person that is the outstanding senior. Mitch, will you come up, please? For those of you who have not met Mitch before, this is Mitch Mickelson. We are very honored in our Itasca County to have an artist like this who are willing, first of all, to work with us and do something very, very special for very, very little. And so I, for one, I don't envy a lot of people, but people that can do artwork are, just blow me away. So I really am grateful for Mitch, and I'm glad that he came here today. But he tells me his specialty isn't what he does for us, but that it's in doing people. But maybe I'll have a portrait done, right? Mitch?
Very nice working with this organization. I'm glad that it's going to some very deserving folks. Introduce that. Hello, can anybody hear me? Let's rock and roll. So I'm glad to work with this nice lady who's given me a shot, and I'll keep the quality and keep doing it as long as we can.
Okay, so you know who to call if you need a picture cut. Thank you all for coming today. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the time at the fair. And remember, next year, 1999 at the fair. Thanks for coming.
Again, this is Brian Carlson out here at the 106th Itasca County Fair, and we're going to be talking with some of the candidates that are running. And our first candidate here is Lauren Solberg. He is presently the state representative from 3B. And Lauren, I want to welcome you to the fair.
Brian, it's my pleasure to be here, and what a beautiful day.
Did you line that up, or what's the scoop?
Oh, yeah. I got direct line right up there, yeah. No, it really is nice, though. It's a gorgeous day.
It really is, and it's a nice day for the senior program here at the fair. Lauren, we're going to be lining up a program later on where we're going to get more depth with issues and things like that. But maybe you just want to touch on a few things that we might be looking forward to as far as what some of the issues are that you feel are going to be discussed.
Well, I think we have an issue on support for K-12 public education. It's really easy to knock the public education system, but I think it's our obligation to support it and support it thoroughly. We've done that in the past. The ACT scores are up, and we're one of the top schools in the nation. Can't rest on those laurels, but I think that that's one of the issues that's going to be in the campaign. I also think we're going to be talking about property tax relief and reform, permanent type of property tax relief. And when we have an opportunity to have a good economy and a balanced budget and some surpluses, I think we're going to use probably a common sense approach to dealing with that. We did that in the past. We funded some high priority type of activities. We funded some additional monies for nursing homes so people can have a better care in their nursing home. We funded K-12 education. We funded higher education a little bit better so people don't have to leave the area to get a decent college education and decent job. We put some aside in a reserve account. We put some aside in some special accounts to deal with property tax in the future. So when we give property tax relief to businesses and other classifications of a property that doesn't shift to the homeowner, and we gave the 20% rebate on our homestead taxes. So I think it was a good balanced approach. We spent some on some very high priorities, we saved some, and we gave some back. I think that we're going to see that approach again.
Okay, well that pretty well covers everything we're going to be covering at the format, I would bet, huh?
Yeah, it probably does.
So, well, I appreciate you coming out, Lauren, and stopping and talking with us. I know you got to do a lot of handshaking, and we'll certainly be in touch with you in the near future.
I appreciate that. You know, as chair of the Ways and Means, I always go right to the money issues, I guess. But that's what I'm real familiar with. So
very good.
Appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Lauren, for coming.
Thank you very much.
It's a wonderful day here at the fair, and I've got a lot of wonderful people to talk to. And right now I've got Linda Morrow with me, and Linda's with Elder Circle Volunteer Action Group, I would assume is what it's called?
Well, it's kind of two different groups. Elder Circle is a program that supports Itasca County's senior citizens, and the Voluntary Action Center brings together volunteers that can serve in any capacity anywhere throughout the county. So I wear a couple different hats.
And where are you located out of?
Right now we're at Itasca Medical Center, and we are linking up with seniors throughout the county, though. It isn't just those who come into our facility.
And you're not strictly Itasca County, correct?
Well, Elder Circle has received a grant through the Area Agency on Aging just recently, and this allows us to expand our services to seniors, and we want to expand particularly in the Nashwauk-Keewatin area. We feel that that's kind of a pocket in the county that doesn't have the services available that many of the other areas of the county do. So we want to take some of the programs that we love and are working wonderfully well in other parts of the county, and we want to expand them over to that area, and then we want to talk to the citizens there and say just what other things they really want to have, what do they feel their citizens need. And we are looking not just at the citizens, the senior citizens of today, but we're looking down the road to 2030, and those of us who are baby boomers are going to be in that senior category then, and what are our needs going to be? And we expect that might be a little bit different than the seniors of today, because we're a little bit different.
Well, I would suspect it'll be different just because of numbers. You know, the baby boomers, there were so many more, and that, of course, will reduce the amount of dollars that are available for the care.
Absolutely. That's a real concern that we have. Our senior population is only going to grow, but the funding that's available for services will not. So we need to come up with a lot of creative ideas to provide service when there isn't a lot of resource there. We need people resource rather than money resources.
Okay, so if somebody wants to help you out, we have a phone number and an address?
We have a phone number. I have an 800 number if you're out of the Grand Rapids area. It's 1-800-327-1617. If you're in the Grand Rapids area, you can contact me at 327-1634.
Great.
Happy to have anyone call if they need services, but also if they're willing to give services.
Now, what kind of services do you provide? You talked about something about foot care. I just kind of caught that here when I was standing.
Right. Well, foot care clinics are just blossoming here in Itasca County, and we do them all over. We're in Nashwauk, Big Fork, Deer River, Grand Rapids, Bovee. As we age, our feet are a little farther away from us. They're harder to get up where we can see them. We don't have the flexibility to get down there, and we don't have the strength to deal with those tough toenails. So a public health nurse that's trained in foot care, and we take this program around, and we are full. Again, call me on those 2 phone numbers for appointments. Really need an appointment to get into foot care clinics, and these are clinics that help seniors maintain what's going on the outside of their foot. If there's something under the skin, then they would need to see a podiatrist.
Do you get into reflexology at all?
Well, the nurse will talk to them about other health issues and being able to best maintain their health in many ways. So. Yeah.
And maybe you might want to mention just a couple of the other programs, too, in case we have a variety of people watching, of course, and maybe foot care isn't one of their interests.
Okay. Well, one of my very favorite programs is the Senior Companion Program. In order to be a senior companion, one must be 60. So we're looking for our young seniors who have time to serve our older, more fragile and frail seniors. We pair them up. They are companions. They see that they get to the grocery store, they get to the post office and the bank, and a lot of our frail seniors are quite homebound unless there's someone that can help them get out to the different things that they need to get to. And I'm always looking for senior companions, and I really need them in the Nashwauk-Keewatin area, so I'm hoping to hear from people, particularly in that area.
Now, are these programs completely volunteer, or is there some kind of assistance for like mileage to help some of these folks that want to volunteer to get back and forth?
Excellent question. It's considered a volunteer program, but mileage is provided, and there's a small stipend that our senior companions receive for doing their services. They certainly don't get rich, but they do get a little bit of money that covers their expenses for volunteering. And those that we have that are serving as senior companions have great big hearts, and they care about people, and that's the kind of people we're looking for.
And I would assume those stipends don't interfere with any Social Security benefits anybody's getting. They're low enough.
They are not an income. It is a stipend, so if they are receiving any type of assistance, this cannot be counted.
Very good. Well, Linda, we've got a friend of yours standing here, and we probably should give her a little equal time here. So we're going to get Janice Engling to step in here, and Janice is with the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program. And tell us a little bit about that, Janice.
Well, it's a program that allows people that are 55 years of age and older to provide the community with some service using their skills and talents. They have a lifetime of experience to share. And we have a variety of assignments. Any nonprofit agency or organization can become what we call a volunteer station, and volunteers can then be assigned to that place. And we have over 80 in Itasca County and another 30 up in Coochiching County stations. And we have about 650 volunteers altogether. And our big focus this year is on literacy and reading, and we have a new grant. It's called America Reads, and we found out, and we're very shocked to learn, that 40% of the third graders cannot read at all or read well. So our job now is to recruit a total of 24 new volunteers, 12 for each county, to go into the second grade and provide tutoring for these small children so that they can go to third grade and be prepared to take their place in class. I can't imagine what it would be like to not be able to read and have to grow up and struggle in our school system with that disability. I mean, I would think it would be a handicap.
I'm sure it is. Do you have any statistics as to the reasons why there's such a high percentage that can't at that age?
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at any studies on that, but I would assume, and this is an assumption, that it's because of large class sizes and limited time that the teacher has to devote one-on-one. And that's where the volunteer will come in. They will be able to be with a specific child throughout the school year, and they will be trained in the proper ways to teach children to read, and hopefully that it will make a big difference. And then this past year, we had special projects in third grade classes at Murphy School. One was an art project where the seniors and children made a book together, and they discussed commonalities, and the book was called Common Threads. And together they answered questions like, what makes you angry? And what do you like to do when you're angry? Or what can you do when you're angry? This gave the senior a chance to mentor that child and talk about these issues and give them constructive ways to deal with violence and anger. And that book project was a huge success. And then we did a garden project because they kind of grew together and they dug in the dirt and they planted flowers and they planned the whole thing. So that's basically what we do. We have a lot of fun and challenging assignments that volunteers can do.
And I was just thinking here while we were talking is communication. You know, we always talk about the communication gap between the youth and the elderly, and I think it's just a matter of sitting down and discussing the differences. I mean, you talk about seniors will automatically know what a Victrola is. You know, they can tell you everything about that. But some of them have no idea what a CD is. You know,
Right.
and of course younger kids, they know what CDs are, but they have never even heard of a Victrola. So I think sometimes when you get these projects, these art projects and those reading projects, if they can communicate some of these differences in terminology, there's going to be a great growth in communications.
Oh, I'm sure. And it was so amazing to watch the two groups together, because as soon as the seniors they'd see the seniors out in the parking lot, they were all excited. They could hardly wait to go greet their particular new friend and drag them in the classroom, and they brought them their cookies and waited on them, and they were just wonderful. They were polite, and the seniors were really amazed at how knowledgeable the children were and the breadth of their understanding of different issues and things. They were just amazed at their creativity and their conversational skills, and it was wonderful.
So it's just a matter of spending time together.
Just getting them together, right. Put them in the same room and put them in two chairs beside each other and let them go. It's wonderful.
Well, I wanted to also mention, too, and it's been a while, but Janice was also a member, a director on the board of ICTV, one of our cohorts down here in the Grand Rapids area, and we swapped videotapes back and forth.
Years ago.
Years ago, and she did a bang-up job there, and then she moved on to RSVP and a few other things, and just wanted to say hi to you one more time.
Well, it's really glad to see you.
Give you a hug. She goes like this.
You need my phone number.
Well, we could do that.
Yes, 326-3175.
And that's for RSVP.
And we need volunteers for this tutoring, and it's a serious job. So if you're willing to put in an hour or two a week, it can make a tremendous difference in a child's life.
Now, what if you're, say you're retired early, you're young, you're under 55, and you'd like to be involved in this program? Is there a limitation where you're not allowed, or can you come and volunteer?
You can still volunteer. We'll just put you on a waiting list. We're not going to turn down anybody that wants to help these children learn to read.
Very good. So if you've got an interest, please call that number, and we'll put it up on the board there for you, and talk to Janice.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Now we're going to take time. We're going to move on to one of the other candidates here and talk to them. Again, this is Brian Carlson, and we're with Juan Lazu, who is presently mayor of the city of Grand Rapids, and I wanted to welcome you here, Juan.
Thank you very much, Brian. It's a pleasure to be here.
And you had the opportunity to welcome the senior citizens here at the fair, and you think this will be your last time to do that as mayor?
Well, as mayor, perhaps, but certainly not as an individual and not as an elected official. As you know, I'm seeking the office of a state representative, and it's a great time to be here to visit with the people, find out what the issues are and the concerns, and to explain what my views are.
Now, as we mentioned to the other candidates as they've come in for interviews, we are going to have a forum. Maybe just give us a little idea as to what you think some of the issues are going to be here in the coming months.
I think that the main issue is one of common sense. We need to look at what's going on in the state of Minnesota. Our spending has increased almost 20% in the last 2 years, and certainly income has not risen at the same rate. We need to look at how we're spending our money. We need to look at that surplus and how it's being spent, and it should be returned to the taxpayers. We need to look at our education, the health care benefits that our senior citizens have. They're just being overtaxed. They're being cut back, and that's not right. If we have the money, we should not be paying for stadiums. We should be paying for health care for senior citizens.
Okay. Well, now, 3B, what kind of, can you give us perimeters, what type of cities would be involved in that area, just in case somebody that's watching isn't familiar with that?
Certainly. Basically, the district runs from the township of Grand Rapids to Nashua, Keewatin, to the county line. Then it goes to Floodwood in the St. Louis County side, and then south on 169 to just south of the city of Aiken.
Okay. So that's the 3B area. If you're interested, you can certainly contact any of the candidates that are involved. And we want to thank you, Juan, for stopping by.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Okay, with me right now is Ron Olaheiser, and Ron is on the board of directors for the Itasca County Fair, and he is the secretary-treasurer, and you've been in that position how long, Ron?
About 10 years. I've been doing that, and I was about 10 years before that doing commercial exhibit superintendent, which I still am.
And 10 years before that, you were doing?
4-H exhibits. I've been around the fairgrounds for quite a while, about 40 years, and that's just about how old I am. So,
now, several things, we're going to be going around looking at the fairgrounds here today, but I know that you wanted to point out one real neat addition here, and that's the area that we're going to look at in just a short while.
Okay. Yeah, the pathway leading from the central area of the grounds down to the grandstand area, we started an improvement a year ago, and we didn't get it finished for last year's fair, but this year we got the pathways tarred early in the spring, and then just a couple weeks ago we got the sod laid and the trees and shrubs in the pathway. I like to call it a boulevard area. It's a nice area, and hopefully the trees will grow up and be good, nice shade trees in a number of years. And we've put some benches down there, and so people can sit and enjoy themselves as they walk down the fairgrounds and get out of the sun a little bit if it's a nice sunny day like it is today, which it always is at Grand Rapids Itasca County Fair. So. And a lot of that work was done and sponsored by Norwest Bank here in Grand Rapids and Bloomer's Garden Center in Grand Rapids. They came out and did the work and put some money into helping us get that project finished. So.
And were the master gardeners involved with this project? I know they've been involved in some other ones on the ground.
They weren't involved in this one. No, they've done some other things, but not this particular project. So.
And what are some other highlights that we should be looking for today while we're on the grounds?
Well, I think the one thing that we're hearing a lot of compliments about, and we put up a new building last fall over in our livestock area, and it's going to be used for horses during the fair, and this year it's being used for sheep and goats. We were unable to get all the stalls in place for the horses this year, but in that building, it's a rather large building, and it's a nice building. What we do have a petting zoo in there this year, which is something really unique to this area. People don't get to see the kind of animals that they have in there, and we've had just compliment after compliment on that petting zoo, and so that's in the building this year. I think he'll want to come back, and we may want him back. It won't be in the building because it'll be full of horses by next year, but we'll have to find some place for him on the grounds, I think. So
we'll have to put up another building.
Yeah, right.
And that's a good thing to mention too, Ron. If say there's a former 4-H member out there or someone that used to exhibit, and they really appreciated the times that they've had at the fair and what their grandkids are having out here for fun. If they would like to make out a check or just give a donation in honor or memory of someone, how could they go about doing that?
Well, they can contact me and or another member of the board, and we certainly would do whatever we can to recognize and appreciate the contributions that are made from area residents or area businesses, whatever. That's the donations and the contributions and the support from the business community and our local Itasca County people is what's making this grounds one of the nicest fairgrounds in the state of Minnesota. And it's not because of me or anybody else on the board. It's from the residents and the support that we get for improving the grounds.
And now a little bit of history for those that aren't maybe familiar with county fairs is that exhibitors not only come from Itasca County, they can come from the 5 adjacent counties. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. And I haven't seen the exhibit numbers or the exhibit addresses this year, but we usually have some that exhibit from outside the county, and we certainly welcome them. And the more exhibits we can get, the better the buildings are full and ready for people to see.
And we've had some individual exhibitors from time to time that have come from quite a ways away. What would be the furthest away that you can recall?
That I know of, we get livestock herd from Anoka quite often, and one of the reasons is we get that is because we want to have our dairy farming in this area is kind of running out, and we want to have some dairy for people to see. So we try to get them up here every year, and I'm sure there's some that have come. I know we've had some rabbit and poultry exhibits from the Park Rapids area in past years, and I'm sure there's some that I don't know about that are here from a longer ways than that. But so.
Well, we know you're a busy guy today, running around making sure all the vendors are happy and all that kind of thing, Ron. So we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we're with Kevin McNichol, and Kevin is with the Meds 1 ambulance crew that's out here at the fairgrounds. And you guys have been coming out here for how many years, Kevin?
Well, for the 20 years that I've been in business, we've been here.
20 years this year. Well, happy anniversary.
Yes, that's right. It's 20th anniversary for Meds 1 in the Grand Rapids area.
So are we giving away free rides in the ambulance, or what are we doing here for the anniversary?
We had an open house on August 7th, and we had hot dogs, and we gave things out there and things for that. So,
okay, so we realize that you're here for medical emergencies on the grounds. What kind of things do you run into?
We find we get a lot of blisters, because people don't wear, they all wear new shoes here, and they aren't prepared for all the walking they have to do. We do get quite a few bee stings, and it's just things that happen. Some cuts from, people rubbing up against places they shouldn't rub up against. But nothing real major. It's always just minor things, and then that's all right.
You've never had to rush anybody to the hospital for anything major that you're aware of?
We've had a couple major accidents in the fairgrounds in the last 20 years, but I mean, if I can remember, maybe 3, and it's nothing real. We had one guy get hit by a ride, and we had one guy get gored by a bull. But that's about the only 2 that were real major things. I mean, we have had people have heart problems. We've had people have diabetic problems, but you can't blame that on the fair.
No, and I think the other ones, if you're talking 20 years and you've only had 2 or 3 odd things happen, that's pretty good odds.
Oh, it's the safety record for the fair is just excellent. I mean, the maintenance that they do out here to keep things safe is very good. We do our main function here is while the rides are going, that we're here for that. If something would happen because of all the moving things there. So that's probably our main function. But I mean, the operator for the carnival has everything in tip-top shape, so we very seldom have any problems.
What types of qualifications, coursework, that kind of thing? You've got other guys here helping you, so apparently they must be licensed in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, we have a variety of certifications that work for our company. They're paramedics, EMT intermediates, and EMT basics. That's the lowest we can go to. There is one more first responder, but those are more like for the volunteer ambulance services or the volunteer fire departments and stuff. But being that we're advanced life support, which is paramedics, we have to have a paramedic on every ambulance, and the minimum qualification you have to have is an EMT. And so we have those through the time of the fair. It depends on, sometimes we have 2 paramedics, sometimes we have paramedic EMT.
Okay. Wanted to mention, too, that for many years you ran the chair care program here in town, and maybe that's where folks might recognize you from, but I understand that that has changed hands?
Well, we regretted having to shut it down. The ambulance services subsidized it for years. The full-time person and in the vehicle and the maintenance and everything, and it just got to a point where I was going to have to buy a new vehicle this year, and the person that I had doing it decided he wanted to go and do something else. So with that in mind, I just said, well, now's the time to let it go. We hated to let it go, but I mean, it never did pay for itself, and so that's the way we had to do it.
Okay. Again, Kevin McNichols with Meds One. Thanks, Kevin, for stopping by.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right now we're looking at a silver pitcher from 1932 that was recently uncovered by a fellow in Tower, Minnesota by the name of Al Reller. And Al happened to make contact with me to let me know that he had this particular trophy. Back in the 1920s and the 30s at the Itasca County Fair, the Minnesota Tribune, for whatever reason, which we haven't discovered yet, used to give out trophies for dairy and beef and different types of animals here. And this particular one was given to Seedorf and, have to get up here and read the other one, Baker, for a sire that they had. Now, the story goes that Baker had the farm, and Seedorf was kind of like renting from it. And Mr. Seedorf up in the Deer River area had a sire that he came up with, and they thought it'd be nice to enter it in the fair. They won this particular trophy, and then in 1972, the trophy was sold in an estate. And according to Mr. Reller and Mr. Seedorf, that's where the exchange came, and Mr. Reller ended up with the trophy. And it has returned after 66 years to the Itasca County Fair and will hopefully be part of the future display that Mr. Simons, the president, is trying to get put together. And we're going to be switching here just shortly to talk with Mr. Simons. Okay, again, this is Don Simons with the president of the Itasca County Fair Board. Don, thank you for letting us come down here to the 106th County Fair. And what's happening?
A little bit of everything. We're very proud of what happened today with the Al Page 50-year service award we handed out. And I believe we had the largest senior citizens day we've ever had, which were absolutely just terrific. You know, to get these people out and we can entertain them for a few hours is just great. The Moose Club has been very generous in putting on a bean feed for them. And Brian, help me, but that's been over 50 years for that also, hasn't it?
At least that.
Yeah. And the booths are all open, and we're just doing great here. We have a full livestock show going on. Our entries are up tremendously in the cattle, and we're real proud of that because most of the fairs are having trouble getting the herds in, and we seem to have a good thing going here. We have a petting zoo in the new barn that has just been a terrific hit for everyone. We've had many compliments on that.
You going to answer that phone call there, or is that okay? We're real pleased, too, Don, to know that you're on the state board. And which association is that, for those that aren't familiar?
That's the state, Minnesota State Agricultural Society. It's the same as our county fair, only it's a state society.
So you actually are on the board of the state fair?
I'm on the board of the state fair representing 8 counties, and they are St. Louis, Cook and Lake, Koochiching, Itasca, and Carleton.
And what exactly do you do on the state board?
It is the same as we do here, only on a way larger scale, with many more problems because it's a lot bigger event.
Are you like a superintendent, say, of beef or dairy, or do you kind of cover all areas wherever they need you?
I have 4 areas that I work in. I have the meat department, public safety.
Caught you off guard.
You did. You certainly did. Ticketing and the horse division.
Okay, and some of those reflect back on Itasca County, too. You know, we're talking about the Midway and the food vendors and things out here. What kind of requirements, rigors do they have to go through to be here? Do they have inspections of any kind that you're involved with?
Inspections are daily down there. All the rides are inspected every morning, and once during the day. The electrical inspectors work there steadily. We have our own health inspectors. Plus down there you have to be licensed in the metro area by the county that you're in, and that would be Ramsey.
Okay. And what about inspections here at Itasca County?
The health inspector has been here every day. The electrical inspector has been here 4 times. And if you don't believe me, check with some of these concessionaires. And yeah, they've been real strict this year, but really, folks, that's good for all of us. It is the right thing.
Now, Don, you've been with this fair board for how long?
22 years, I think, is the right count. But I really started showing here in 1952.
As a 4-H'er, or?
No, open class. I never was in 4-H.
There was 4-H at that time, though?
Yes, there was, Brad. That wasn't before 4-H.
I just had to put that plug in there. What do you see as maybe one of the most unique things here at the Itasca County Fair this year?
Well, I think it's 2 things. The improvements that I and the board made here on the grounds, we've had a lot of compliments on. The end down here, we put in park benches and planted some shrubs with the help of the Norwest Bank employees and bloomers. I think that's probably been the biggest improvement hit that will serve the most people, Brian.
What can we look forward as far as possible changes in the future?
We have a lot of ideas if we only had the money to implement them.
Is that another plea for money?
It certainly is, sir.
Okay, well, I know you're busy. You've got lots of things to handle here on the grounds, and I appreciate you taking a few moments to be with us.
And thank you very much. And if everybody gets to watch us in time, we're open through Sunday, and we'd love to have you.
If not, they'll certainly be here next year for the fair. 3rd weekend in August, everybody's invited to come on down. This is the new area that Ron Olaheiser and President Simons here were talking about, compliments Northwest Bank and Bloomers. And it's in the center of the fairgrounds. This used to be the roadway into the racetrack, and now they've got the racetrack roadway going in from the backside. And this has now become handicap accessible with pathways on either side and all the new trees on the inside. And all the benches that folks have really appreciated, because down here there have never been benches for several years. So they're really appreciating the fact that they have a place to sit down and munch a little bit. just went through the Fine Arts building and looked at a few photographs and artworks there. Now we're in the flowers and vegetable section here at the Itasca County Fair. Right now you're looking at a red gladiola, or excuse me, a dahlia that's from Claire Tinquist. She's out of the Cohasset area. And I think Tom's going to be shooting a few others here that other exhibits that are in this particular building. We'll just scan all these other flowers along here just to show you some of the beautiful things that are growing in our area that we can appreciate. Of course, El Nino didn't hurt us this year at all. The summer was great, and the flowers, as you can tell, are numerous and very colorful. We're looking at some of the creative wood products that are presented here at the Itasca County Fair, and this particular canoe was done by Scott Souter of Grand Rapids, and it is an excellent, excellent piece. I'm not sure just how heavy that is, but it certainly looks very nice. There's a bed frame down here with several unique knots on the one corner of it. I don't know if Tom, can you get that in there? And I'm not sure right offhand who that was, but we will certainly find out shortly and let you know who put that one together. The piece was done by David Rohn out of the Deer River area. And David actually was in 4-H with me, believe it or not, many years ago. So this is kind of unique for me to be able to see some of these old-time 4-Hers still exhibiting at the various fairs, and that's, once it's in your blood, I guess it stays there forever. I'm going to have Tom just generally scan to his left here some of the different quilts that the ladies have put together of different types. There's the diamond types, the wedding ring band types, and some of the others. Every fair has them, and it's just nice to see the skills that are still out in the community.
Nobody had rutabagas like we did because they don't taste like they did down there.
Well, what makes them taste different?
There's a big difference between rutabagas here and then south. A big difference.
When you say south, you're talking?
Pillow cities.
Okay.
Northern rutabagas you cannot beat.
Why do you think that there's a difference in the taste?
Well, they're bitter south, and up north they're a little bit bland or a little milder, and they're really good. And of course, the Finns are really good with the rutabaga pie, excuse me. And they made that.
Now, you wouldn't be prejudiced towards the Finns, would you?
Well,
in case you couldn't guess, we're standing here with Al Hakela, and Al was a 4-H'er in 1936 roughly to 46. And he's visiting the fair here today, and he just happened to stop and make the comment that once it's in your blood, it's always in your blood. So he's got his little 4-H sign here that he's carrying around, his little fan. And it was the Sunshine Club, from what I understand, and presently you and your wife Betty are living in the Coleraine area. And what exactly did you exhibit during that time frame, and were you an officer in the club? Let's start with being an officer.
well, I probably was just a good helper and with the 4-H Sunshine Club, and we just had a good fellowship with everybody within our club. And we always had fun when we had our 4-H. We visited with different families. It's more or less, when you visit with different families, you get associated with the different people, different cultures. You got to remember, at that time, it was a lot of different cultures at that time.
You mean like we had the Finnish community, we had the Swedish, the Norwegian, those kinds of things? Is that what you're referring to?
Croatian people and things like that. And right in our community, there was Croatian, and there were Swedes, and there were Finns, and we just got along good with the people. And but they each had their own different cultures at that time.
Now, what again did you exhibit while you were in 4-H?
Well, principally I was with the garden produce and exhibit everything and what you could with the garden at that time. And I had real good cabbage and rutabaga and carrots, beans, and cauliflower and lettuce and things like that.
I'm going to pick your brain here, and I didn't ask you this question earlier so you could think about it, but who was the 4-H agent at that time? Could have been Art Frick possibly, or there's someone else.
Yeah, it probably was right time, right, yeah.
And did you have what they call tours, I guess? They went around to the different
tours. Every family had that. In the fall of the year, we always had the garden tours and club tours, right.
Roughly how many kids were in your particular club?
Oh, there was probably, I would say, estimate probably 20 to 30 people, kids, yeah, right in that area.
And there were a number of clubs at that time, I would imagine.
Yeah, there was quite a few clubs at that time. Competition was quite keen. I was real thrilled to be able to exhibit at the state fair at that time, and especially in garden. And you have to remember they're a month ahead on either end of us that what we are. And I was really thrilled to place a state garden show. I won a award on that, I think.
Now, at that particular time, was the state fair after the county fair?
Yeah, it was after the county fair. So it was hard to keep things going along at that time. And some of the stuff would be old, and peas would be gone, and beans would be just about gone, lettuce is gone, and all these things were gone. But then you still had to come up with garden produce that you could exhibit at the state fair.
Did you folks haul that all down yourself, or was that part of what the county agent did?
No, our folks, we went down at the time, and they were kind enough to bring probably several kids. We probably had 3 or 4 kids exhibiting at that time, as well as clothing, and clothing exhibits were exceptional. Dasvich kids had some real good exhibits at that time, and just the numerous, probably 3 or 4 kids that went down with our group at that time.
Did you have, I know when I was in 4-H, we had what's called good grooming, where they actually had us, wash up, and we had to clean our fingernails, and they checked for cuticles and things like that. Was good grooming part of that at that time?
That, I don't think so at that time, but we still had, we had something to do with the 4 leaves on a clover, and that was with consideration with your health and eating the right foods and things like that. So that was emphasized at that time. We had some good bakers at our club too. There's probably 3 or 4 kids that had real good caking and cookies and things like that. So I think we had a real good club at that time.
Okay. And it was nice of you to bring that sign. I think what we'll do is just have you hold that up, and maybe Tom can zoom in on the 4-H's. Head, hands, health, and heart. And I know that they talk about a 5th one from time to time now called home. So again, thanks to you, Al Hakela, for being not only here and interviewing with us, but also being part of the history of Itasca County and the 4-H division. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And it's a watermelon. We're here in the Ag Hort building, which has officially today been donned a new name. It's the Al Page Exhibit Hall. Al Page was with the county for several years and was superintendent of this particular building for 50 years roughly. And so they today dedicated this hall to him. In here, of course, is the open class exhibits, which means anyone can enter in here. Doesn't matter what age or gender or which county you're from. It's open to all folks, not restricted to, for instance, just 4-Hers or just kids or seniors. Wide variety of products here. There's some gigantic potatoes down there. I believe that was from the Frick family. First time we've had anything like that here. And it's just a real full exhibit this year, more so than any other year. And again, I think it's because of the good growing season. The beans are great. The carrots and the onions and all of that are terrific. We also have some trees here. We have Christmas tree growers in the county, and they come in and they exhibit their trees from their farm. So it's a nice little hall here, and people just really enjoy the various things that they can see. And down at the far end, we've got some folks looking at what we call some of the noxious weeds that are in the area. And these are weeds that are very, very common. Many of them hazardous to our health in one way, shape, or form, either because of pollens or poisons that are in them, and can cause different infections. So we want people to know what they are and what kind of effects that they have on us. Now we're in the conservation building here at the fairgrounds, and looking at the fish in the tank, and they're being very cooperative here for Tom. They're just laying there nice and quiet and peaceful. The local DNR came in this past fall and fixed up the tanks a little bit and ran some new drainage and things so that the fish would be attended to a little better than what they have been in the past, and they have fresh water. And I think what we'll do is just have Tom go down through the various windows here and show you what's here. We've got some carp, so we've got white suckers, buffalo fish, of course your northern pikes, your yellow perch, a couple of different types of turtles, the painted turtle and the snapping turtle, the crappies. We'll just have Tom go from window to window. With me right now, and kind of shocked right now, is Mimi Barzan, and she's a forester with the DNR. And you're out of the Grand Rapids area?
That's correct.
And how long have you been with the DNR?
Almost 19 years.
And what exactly are your duties?
I work mostly with private landowners, help them to manage their land, and I also do a lot of information and education type things.
And that's what we're going to ask you about. What are some of the things that you have going here right around you?
Well, what we tried to do this year is we've got 6 different divisions in the DNR, and we decided that we wanted to do a display that would work for most of the divisions. And so we decided that a big issue at this time is shoreline management. And we're trying to do an education type activity with people and show them that they don't have to create lawns and other types of things around their shoreline that causes the water quality to decrease. We want to explain to people that by keeping natural habitat around your shoreline, it improves the water.
Okay, I noticed smoky hanging around on your ears. Maybe you want to can you turn there just a little bit and catch that, Tom? Where'd you pick those up at?
A friend of mine gave them to me, but Smokey's a real good friend of mine, and we spend a lot of time in schools, visiting classrooms, talking about fire prevention with Smokey Bear.
You must have known right where I was leading with that, huh? How many folks have come through today, and what kind of questions are they asking specifically?
Boy, we've had quite a lot of people. It dropped off just about 15, 20 minutes ago, but just quite a variety of questions, mostly about the fish, where we got them, how long they're going to live, what they are, that type of thing.
There's been a lot of talk recently on the stocking issue. Are you familiar with that at all?
No, you'd have to talk to the fisheries person about stocking issues.
Okay. What else can you tell us about the forestry division?
We do a lot of state land management, plant lots of trees every year. We work a lot with communities. Boy, I don't know. It depends on what you want to know.
If a person wants to go in and become part of the DNR, is that a degree that you pick up through college, or do you just start with or walk into the DNR office and say, I want to work?
I'd say about 90% of the people need a degree. If you're going to be a clerk, you need to be schooled in certain typing techniques and have computer training and that type of thing. But if you're going to be out in the field, you need at least a 2-year degree, and most people have a minimum of a 4-year degree.
And what types of courses would they be looking at taking?
A lot of sciences, math and science, you need for all the fields within the DNR. Except for enforcement, they have a lot of law enforcement courses that you take rather than the math and science.
Okay. Are there courses locally that can be taken to accomplish this degree that they need?
Oh, sure. You can go to Itasca Community College or any of the community colleges and get the first 2-year basics, and then go to a university that specializes in forestry or wildlife or fisheries or whatever, and then do your last 2 years there so you can get your degree.
U of M would be a forestry division?
That's where I got my degree.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your time, and sorry we took you by surprise. But it was nice. Thanks again. Check 2, 3.
See